Will, the O-line had changed quite a bit in the title game, understandably, when you're getting Marcus back. Now that he's a bit healthier, is it back to the lineup that was there for the middle 6 games, or are you still rotating around guys at the guard spots?
Yeah, I mean, we really like where we're at right now with our, interior three. Having a shot in there, he's had a, great really year for us. Really stepped up and been the player that we wanted when we brought him in here. Poncho's obviously, an unsung, I think, hero of our front. And yeah, having Marcus in there and Dave, the ability to change those guys out and to make sure that we have our best five is important to us. But Marcus has, I think, 30 career starts, so he's got a lot of veteran leadership, and he's done a great job since he's been back. And looking forward to seeing those guys play in this game.
Second row left, Eric.
Well, we haven't talked to you since I think August, so
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you. Curious with Dylan, I guess, where have you seen the progress most? What's impressed you most, maybe from when we talked to you last in August to where he's at now?
I mean, a lot of things. He's been able to work in out of a huddle much better. Well, I know that seems minuscule and not something to the naked eye, but just his command and presence inside of a huddle, being able to call plays and translate it, correctly. I mean, that's been a big improvement for him. His ability at the line of scrimmage to change plays, get us in the right protection has been, good to see. And I think he's just playing on time, playing in rhythm, trusting the scheme, trusting our players, and he gets better every single day out there. You wish you had him for longer, but happy with his progress. And when he's out on the field, I think he makes everybody feel at ease because of his leadership, because of his he's seen it all, right? I mean, he's been in every type of game and atmosphere, and he handles it like a pro every single time.
Back left, Brett.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, the offense has been able to win a number of different games this season, but kind of looking at the numbers statistically from last season this year, the numbers say last year's offense was better, but watching it from the naked eye, it seems like this year, this offense has looked more dynamic. Why do you feel like that has been the case, and what has been your opinion of the offense so far this season?
Yeah, I mean, stats are cool, but stats don't win and lose football games. It's all about wins at the end of the day. The major statistical categories that we care about are, yards per carry in the rush game. We want 5.5 per carry. Explosive plays, 1 of every 8 is what we strive for. Third down percentage at 50%, fourth down at 100. Obviously, that's always hard to get 100%. Red area touchdowns, you want 70%, but 100% score. So there's other statistics different than just yards per game and passing yards and all those cool things that, the fans love, which I get, but I know we all love wins more than anything. And that's something that we've obviously been able to do a really good job of this year. So, every year is different. We're in a new league. I think top to bottom better defenses, less plays per game. But I think when you look at the main statistics that we want to strive to hit, we're doing a really good job this year. And yeah, the offense doesn't look exactly like it did last year, but it probably won't look the exact same next year, but focus on the now, focus on the present, and ready to attack a really outstanding defense in Ohio State.
Back middle, Matt.
Kind of along just the offense this year, you've had different points where guys have gone down. How you feel like this team's adapted with that? Whether it was Bedford in fall camp and Ferguson having the removal of his appendix and Tez getting hurt, and now Harper working his way back. How has this team been able to just adapt so well with so much change?
I think that just goes back to how Coach Lanning runs our camps, our fall camps, our spring ball, our winter workouts. We don't have ones and twos until a couple of weeks before our first game. We work green and yellow teams. We have guys interchanging positions. Guys that might not play center will snap the ball in a live football setting, whether it's in spring ball or fall camp. So we have guys work all different positions in all different groups. Dylan and Dante and Austin and the rest of the quarterbacks have thrown to what you see as starters now and immediate backups now. So it's a really unique way to practice, but it's helped us out. It's helped me out too, to be able to call plays for different players out on the field and just be adaptable. I mean, that's college football. We don't get a waiver wire. We can't pick up guys, and we got to play with what we have. And credit to our coaches of grinding through this developmental process with other players, and been very pleased with our ability to adapt this season.
Front left, Zach.
talking about what's impressed you with Dylan the most this year. I'm curious if there been any things that have surprised you this year. I mean, you obviously had a good idea of who he was coming in, but has he shown you things that you didn't know he was capable of coming in?
Yeah, I mean, you never know how tough somebody is until you're in the trenches with them. You really don't know them until you're in the game. And so how tough he is has been extremely impressive to me. You think about some big runs. The Illinois game when he kind of trucked somebody on the edge and ran through contact and got us a good gain. And it was probably not a great, wasn't like a bad call. It was just like they had a good defense on. And so his ability to run and be tough, he nothing phases him. That's the cool thing about him. And then his ability to connect with his teammates is unlike anybody I've ever been around. I mean, he treats the A-string walk on like he's the first string starter. Like he knows everybody in the cafeteria's names. He knows every manager, every custodian, everybody. I mean, he's truly a unique individual and really glad that he's on our team. But yeah, I mean, he's just tough, man. He's tough and he's fun to coach.
Front left, James.
When Josh's assignment was what it was against Penn State, how did you see him fare against Carter? And he's certainly done well all season, but how did he do in that game, and how can that apply to trying to do it again against 44 and 33 in this game?
He's done it all year since I've known him. He's been doing it. Like, he's an elite player and an elite football mind. I mean, you talk about like he encompasses everything that you want in a football player. Not only is he physically gifted, he's tough, but he's mentally as smart as anybody that you'll find. I mean, he could probably play quarterback and run the show. If you gave him like a week of practice playing quarterback, I'm not kidding. He'd probably be able to go out there and handle situations. Now, could he throw it? I don't know. We'll see. But he could for sure play the position, which is kind of crazy to think about. But he's an elite player. I mean, he's one of the best tackles in the country. He'll be a high, draft pick whenever he decides to make that decision. And I'll put Josh Connerly up against anybody in the country. And no game's too big for him. And he's gone after some really elite edge players in this league, and excited to see him do it again.
Second row on the left, Aaron.
What do you feel like was just the biggest advantage of having that first round bye for the offense in preparation for this game?
I mean, rest is critical, but we don't really rest much around here. It's work week mentality. So I think it was great for us as a coaching staff to go back the first week and to study ourselves, do a deep dive into self-scout and to see what we do well, what we haven't done well, what fits with the potential future opponents that we're about to play, and being able to dive into two teams. And obviously the team that we're about to play, we have a really good sense of who they are on defense, but everybody changes throughout this time and tweaks things where they need to. So I think it starts with us figuring out ourselves again. And, again, just trying to get better and trying to improve and to find those little nuggets that we can say, hey, this is going to make us better in our next game. But it was nice to have a few days off early in the break, but then we got right back to work. And yeah, guys were really anxious to get back here, over our short little stint off, and we've had a really good prep.
Back right, Ronald.
Just going back to the injuries, obviously so many players have been in and out of the lineup, specialist-wise, especially. Now that you guys have had this rest, you're practically healthy and almost everyone's available. After the Big Ten Championship, they talked so much about there was still so much left that you guys can do. What does that next gear look like for this offense?
I mean, you look at any of our games that we played this year, like when we play clean, I'm talking pre-snap, post-snap, getting lined up correctly, it's hard to stop us. I really believe that. It's self-inflicted wounds that have been our Achilles heel this year more than anything. And so that's, to me, what I'm looking for this next game in this environment, just to execute. Like, take the emotions out of the game, go execute. Like, you get a play call, get lined up correctly, right? Know your assignment and go attack that play and make it a one-play focus. So when we do that, we're hard to beat. We're hard to stop. When we don't do that, we're easy to stop and easy to beat on offense. And that's when you get games that we might not be at our best, is when we're just not playing clean football. So that's the key to it. And then let our talent shine and let our abilities take over when we just can do the little things right.
Back left, Brett.
Coach, since that October loss for Ohio State, they haven't allowed a single team to score 20 points or more. What's been the biggest difference you've seen on film for the Buckeyes since your guys' matchup back then? And how much more challenging do you think this second go around is going to be next week?
Well, I mean, they were really good beforehand too. I mean, they were, I think, the number one overall defense in the country when we faced them the first time. But that's what this league is that we played in all year. And to me, we go against the best defense in the country every single day. You know what Tosh does on that side of the ball creates a lot of havoc, a lot of problems for us on offense, and it challenges us to be very focused every single day that we step on the practice field. Um, so yeah, we get great work with our own defense. But yeah, Ohio State is, I mean, they're really good, really, really good. They got great players. They got great scheme. They're coached well. They tackle the ball. They make plays. So it's going to be a great challenge for us. But it's what this league, the Big Ten, has challenged us all year. I mean, from Penn State, Ohio State, Wisconsin on the road, Illinois. Like there's been week in, week out great teams that we faced. And then you think about our preseason games with Boise State. So we're battle tested. We're confident. We have really great faith in our players. Number one, what they're able to do, and then our scheme. And to me, we have the best quarterback in the country out there that's going to go out there and play his best on a big stage.
Back middle, Matt.
Jordan James's workload more than doubled from this year to last year in terms of carries and touches. What can you just say to his dependability, his durability, and his physicality for you guys this year?
Yeah, I mean, I wish you could have seen him out there at practice today. I mean, it looks like it's day one of fall camp, and the way that he runs with his tenacity, with his fearlessness, but then plays well within the scheme and the confines of each play. It's really impressive to see. And yeah, he's been our workhorse. And then you add Noah in the mix too, who's a veteran who's had to me, a really good year, especially off the type of injury that he had last season. It's been fun to see those two guys work, and they're both not only just great players, great people. They work their tails off, and the heartbeat to our offense for sure.
We're going to go to the Zoom. Scott Reed, if you can unmute yourself.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for taking this. Real quick question for you. I know in the past teams have struggled sometimes with long layoffs and rhythm on offense. How have you guys worked to combat that long layoff and keep from getting rusty heading into this game?
Yeah, I mean, we practice against our defense, and they're really good. And we create game-like scenarios every single day in practice. We stay sharp. We practice a lot. We meet a lot, and we recruit and develop and have a team that is focused on the task at hand. So we also played a game, in between what Ohio State played and when they played Tennessee. So they had a layoff as well, and every team's going to have a layoff at this point in the year. It's just a matter of how you handle your business in between your games. And I believe we have had a great prep, and excited to go down to the Rose Bowl to get a practice in down there and then tee the thing off.
Last question is going to go to Dan Hope.
Hey, Will, you mentioned Ohio State is a really good defense, but you guys had a lot of success the first time around. Just what do you think were the biggest keys to your success the first time around, and how do you duplicate that?
Yeah, they're an outstanding defense. And like I said before, I mean, I think Coach Knowles presents a lot of issues with his scheme. They get players in places to make, plays, and they tackle the football and make plays on the ball as well as anybody you're going to find. And yeah, we definitely did have success. We were able to hit plays, especially on third down when we got some mismatches and took advantage of those. But it was not easy. It was not easy at all. And I think our ability to run the football the first time was, definitely a big bonus in us being able to win that football game. But there's plenty of plays that we left on the table, and we're looking to clean those up and to make sure that we can go and be attacking from the get-go. But yeah, it's a great defense. They've had a great year. They're obviously riding in off a big win at home that they just got, but our guys are excited. They're ready, and it's all about execution. Take the emotions out of it, go execute the game plan, and cut it loose.
Actually, one last one with Eric.
Kind of mentioned with Dylan how he connects with people. I'm curious what you've seen from him with Akili and Jaron being here, and kind of how beneficial that could be for them long term.
Yeah, I mean they this is their second day. They're not even in full pads yet. They're basically just going through some drills and just trying to get their feet wet, trying to stay out of the way when we're going team scenarios. But yeah, both those kids are really, really good football players, and excited to see their development, and excited to see them this spring and keep working with along with Dante and Luke and Austin and Brock. And so we got a great room. We're like, we got a lot of quarterbacks right now, but it's fun. It's competitive, and it'll make all those guys better in the long run.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.